Hey everyone, Dave here letting you know that I am in Sydney this weekend, Saturday, May 24, 2025. That's right, if you listen to an old episode, it's still this weekend, Saturday, May 24, live at the Chippo Hotel, 2:30pm, a fun afternoon show. I'm doing Dave Warnicky Dates the Entire Audience with my pal, Sammy Peterson, and you can get tickets at dogoonpod.com.
When you think of hot, you might think about the tragic time you ate too much wasabi. No. Or about getting into your car on a summer day when it feels more like stepping into a sauna. But heat can work in your favor, like during Verizon Red Hot Deal Days. Get hundreds of hot deals on all your favorites, like iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, Apple Watch Series 10, and iPad, on any plan. Only until May 28th for new and existing customers. Offer available on My Plan. Only at Verizon.
You were made for going the extra mile for your pet, and Farah Pets was made to do the same. Farah Pets supplements are vet-created with innovative ingredients that combine Eastern and Western therapies so your pet can thrive. After all, you would do anything to help your pet feel their best, and so would we. Visit farahpets.com/pod to get 20% off today. That's FERA pets.com/POD. Farah Pets. We were made for this.
Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of our 500 Spectacular here at Do Go On. I'm just going to throw you over now to Dave, live at the Capitol Theatre.
Welcome back to part 2 of episode 500. How you doing out there? Welcome our very special guests. It's Kirsty, Webeck and Suren, Jayemanne! Okay, Lube Mo Beer will come to you 13:30:32.
I did that.
Okay. It's been 10 years, mate. You should know that by now.
I think, well, the problem with I don't mean any offence to anyone on the panel now, but having
Already
a kid
offended.
with a lisp, you know, doing your jingle with a number with 13 and 30, very confusing. 13:32.
13:30. No, mate, we can say that. I think the problem for some people with lisps, not naming names, is they can only say th. It's not 13:30:32. You know what I mean?
Jeff, thank you for giving us a voice.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I know we are pressed for time, but just between you and me, Kirsty, just a little fun anecdote for you here. When I was doing like a radio course and I was doing some work experience out in a radio station in Traralgon.
That's hot.
We were talking one time, like one of the radio presenters was doing some training with me and she was talking about a colleague of hers who had a stutter, but when they're talking on radio, no stutter. And they're like, you know, it's just, you're kind of performing. She sort of goes, kind of like your lisp.
To you?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah.
Exactly like my
Yes.
lisp.
A lisp. I don't think I have.
You just got diagnosed.
Okay.
This is crazy. Are we going to spend 5 minutes talking about my eczema now?
Yeah.
And your seed allergy as well. It is fun because nearly every live podcast we ever do, I will get diagnosed by an audience member afterwards.
Yeah. I've had some
Sometimes
emails.
they'll even let me have some of their medicine. Yeah, I saw you out there. Fuck, that was a crazy night. All right.
Matt's dealer is in tonight.
Wait, that's not... I know her. That's not why I was waving. I was, Hello.
You were there that night as well. All right, so Suren, thanks so much for coming. Sorry, we don't have time for you to get in your eczema. It is crazy though. You bring up dryness. This is a very wet report. So we always get on the topic with a question. My question is, and so I won't bring it up exactly, but we decided we're all going to do our favourite live genre of report. Yeah, so I think some of you might know what mine is. I think that I've done 2 previous, and I think you could almost count James Joyce as a... Anyway.
Oh dear.
It's all about interesting proclivities. But this one isn't like that, but it does get pretty wet.
Matt, everyone's so nervous that I think we should go back to talking about Jess and my list.
I'm so scared. Speaking of moisture. All right, so my question to get us on a topic is, what is sometimes said to be the only animal apart from humans to have sex for pleasure? I'm going to throw this open to the audience.
Someone was a little too quick with that too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Either you're a marine biologist or you have proclivities.
Also, I'm already learning. I didn't know we'd do that for pleasure.
Suren has quite a brood.
It's not, but... Oh, no, nothing. Sorry, I just answered my own... I'm so sorry. Can we edit this out or something?
AJ, can we edit that out? Yeah. Anyone but me. All right, so this...
Is this the history of lube-mobiles?
I don't think lube's required for aquatic animals, but let's not get ahead of me. So this was suggested, and if you're worried about it being some weird, kinky story, don't worry, it was suggested by a German.
What a relief.
Particularly Richard Birkholz from Leipzig in Saxony in Germany. All right, here's the story. In 1961, a group of 10 scientists conducted a somewhat clandestine meeting in Greenback, West Virginia, also known as Greenbank, what it says there. According to John Wentz, writing for astrology.com, it was astronomy. Whatever the real one is, I do get those 2 confused. I've written it down wrong, it was astronomy. But I've literally written astrology.
I'm still not sure how that's all that relevant. Astronomy.com.
Well, you'll find out. The Space Science Board had tasked a scientist and ballistic expert named J.P. Pearman with putting together a meeting to expand the search for alien intelligence. The meeting wasn't well publicised since the topic was still considered one of the fringes of established research, and no one wanted to put their career on the line to search for little green men. In attendance was a real crack squad of scientists. So you had Pearman, you also had astronomer Frank Drake, who came up with the Drake equation, which was very important apparently, physicist Philip Morrison, who worked on the Manhattan Project, radio expert Dana Atchley, preeminent biochemist Melvin Calvin. The main reason I'm even reading the names is because one of them was called Melvin Calvin.
Right. I feel like you're also just trying to show off to Dave.
Here are 58 names I will pronounce completely correctly.
You also had optical astronomer Su-Shu Huang, who coined the term habitable zones, computing pioneer Barney Oliver, Russian radio astronomer Otto Struve, astronomer, planetary scientist and science communicator Carl Sagan, who apparently is like a famous American guy.
Hey, Matt, sorry to interrupt, but how many more are there?
Well, we got one last one, and he's the main one we're talking about tonight.
I can't even remember what horny animal we're talking about.
Don't worry. You'll never be able to forget.
You'll want to.
Guess?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to guess a horse, because that thing is pretty much just a torso that's a hand, and then 4 fingers.
Yeah.
That's what Cass told me backstage.
What does a jockey do? A hand job. In a way.
I mean, it's not wrong. In a way.
We will get back to hand jobs soon.
Can I interrupt for 2 seconds? Mum, if you want to just walk around the block for a bit.
Jess's mum, if I can come with you, that'd be great.
Yeah. Go get
I
a
think
coffee,
you should
Mum.
rephrase that.
Okay. Maybe I didn't want to rephrase it.
So during this multi-day scientific retreat, word came through that one of the attendees, Melvin Calvin, had won that year's Nobel Prize for Chemistry. These are serious scientists, right? And they had a bit of a party. Champagne corks were popped. But tonight I'm going to be talking more about one of the other guests, the oddball man named John Lilly. He was a physician, philosopher, writer, inventor. And yeah, he really worked with dolphins. According to Dan Schreiber, in his book The Theory of Everything Else, Lilly told the group of assembled scientists how he had recently trained a dolphin called Elvar to play fetch with a rubber ring in a unique way. Instead of using his nose to catch the toy, Elvar had been taught to use his erect penis. This is for science.
We've all been there.
Lockdown was a hard time.
In more ways than one.
Yes.
The
You had to.
harder, the easier to catch.
We've all been to a hen's party.
How did this science experiment is like method, step one, arouse dolphin.
Yeah. Apparently they can get there real quick, takes 3 seconds. So he'd throw the ring and this dolphin Elvar would just go boing, whoa, straight away get down there and get back up again.
It's a bit of Pavlov's boner.
So this probably makes him sound like a bit of a strange fit for this group of scientists who are looking to the sky for signs of intelligent life.
Some guy's like, I just won the Nobel Prize. Yeah, well, I just jacked off a dolphin.
He didn't necessarily. No, he didn't.
I missed this, but I need to get it off my chest. I just want to really quickly say Pavlov's dong.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That deserves that smattering of applause.
Thank you, 7 people.
Yeah. They were right.
They were right.
Yeah.
So his work seems to be very separate from theirs, but his idea is that there's intelligent life on Earth that evolves separately from humans, and it's dolphins. And if you can prove that they're intelligent, then you sort of maybe it suggests that there is intelligent life, out in space as well.
I will be the first man to give that little green man a boner. Get me in there. Get me in there.
You would be too, Dave.
Fellow attendee Frank Drake would later write, much of that first day, Lilly regaled us with tales of his bottle-nosed dolphins, whose brains, he said, were larger than ours and just as densely packed with neurons. Some parts of the dolphin brain looked even more complex than their human counterparts. Clearly, more than one intelligent species had evolved on Earth. And he played them slowed down clips of their noises they made, and they're like, it almost sounds like they're talking.
Yeah, it almost sounds like, why are you trying to throw a ring on my dick? If you slow it down enough.
Yeah, if you play it backwards.
The other scientists loved it. They were enthralled. They were so into it.
Have you got any video of this?
According to Wentz, Lilly's research generated so much excitement that by the end of the conference, the attendees...
Everyone was catching rings on their dicks.
The attendees ended up calling themselves the Order of the Dolphin, and the Nobel Prize winner Calvin even went on to send commemorative dolphin pins to all the attendees. They were like... It was the only meeting they ever had, but it was a beautiful meeting.
What was the pin bit was... The joke was kind of lost.
I feel like I'm underselling Lilly. This guy, John Lilly, he was a high achiever. According to Schreiber, Dr. John Lilly was a hugely influential neuroscientist and polymath. He was courted by multiple government agencies and was at the cutting edge of scientific advances in numerous areas. His first notable experiments involved working out how to help pilots with decompression, using himself as a test subject, before moving on to the National Institute of Health, where he helped map the brain by figuring out how each section interacts with the rest of our body. So he was doing proper science as well as throwing frisbees on a dolphin dicks.
I'm a bit disappointed because I was hoping that his other experiments would be like he'd start spinning a basketball and then he'd try to land it on a dolphin's dick.
He was at the cutting edge between circus arts and circus sciences. He also designed a sensory deprivation box which led to the invention of flotation tanks. This guy did a bunch of stuff, but he also did experiments that would probably make some of us uncomfortable, me being one of those. For instance, he worked with monkeys, figuring out how to insert electrodes into their brains where he could control their emotions with the push of a button. According to Schreiber, he discovered the bits of the brain that were in charge, this is going to surprise you guys, that were in charge of giving the monkeys erections and orgasms.
This was just a regular guy with a quizzical mind.
He's a really good scientist. He did a lot of good stuff, but he also played quoits on some dolphin dick.
Where is Boner?
Schreiber goes on to say, one of his studies showed that if you gave a monkey a button that, when pressed, would give it an orgasm, the monkey would hit that button once every 3 minutes and up to 16 hours in a day before passing out in euphoria.
Wow. That is valid. That would be exhausting.
Oh my God.
8 hours sleep, ready to go again. But yeah, we're not here to talk about his work with monkeygasms. We're here to talk about his work with dolphins, in particular proving that they are intelligent. For The Guardian, Christopher Riley writes, Lily had been interested in connecting with cetaceans, which I think is like the broader term for dolphins, since coming face to face with a beach pilot whale on the coast near his home in Massachusetts.
Oh no, what did he do to the
in
whale?
1949.
Well, they wanted to play quoits. And
He said, well, he was like, I can't believe how big its brain is. How intelligent must this creature be? Graham Burnett, professor of the history of science at Princeton, explains, I thought maybe Suren could read this part out. This is a scientist
Suren.
talking about
Yeah,
how
this is a trap.
it's a trap.
No, this isn't a trap. I'm going to trap Kirsty later, though. At the blue, yeah.
Okay. You were talking about a time in science when everybody's thinking about a correlation between brain size and what the brain can do. And in this period, researchers were like, whoa! Big brain, huh? Cool. How'd you like that read?
I think you nailed that reading.
you.
That was exactly what I was hoping you were going to do.
Suren is available for commercials, for acting roles.
Yeah, I'm impressed this guy managed to get a Guardian review. I've never had one of those.
So Lilly pretty much wanted dolphins to receive personhood. He wrote a manifesto, which we don't have time for all of it, but really the big thing was he wanted to prove that they were truly non-terrestrial intelligent life forms, and he wanted them to gain a status in human society in which they are recognised as the intelligence life forms that they are. And is with this in goal,
He wants to marry it, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
There's one dolphin in particular.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He's like, you will be my bride.
I think he had an even more surprising goal. His eventual goal was to have the cetaceans represented as a nation within the framework of the UN. He wanted dolphins to have a seat at that table with a little microphone and them getting...
With a little translation button. Oh, yes.
Imagine we could have dolphins at the Olympics.
Oh, man. I think we'd have to change our... Isn't our Olympic swimming team named the Dolphins? They'd have to change that.
Yeah, that would be inappropriate.
That'd be
then.
the only ramification.
And a good enough reason not to let this happen.
But it all sounds like super fanciful stuff, but NASA thought he was onto something and funded some of his work. Using some of his NASA funding, he bought some land on a Caribbean island to create a custom lab to work with the dolphins. He set it up so ocean water would flow right into the building and flooded rooms so that dolphins could swim around. According to Schreiber, his idea was that there would be rooms for dolphins, rooms for humans, and then rooms for both dolphins and humans.
Just a bed and,
Yeah, the honeymoon suite.
No, nothing like that. The sleeping rooms are separate. But he thought the dining room could be for both, where the dinner table would have water coming halfway up the table leg, so that both dolphin and human could eat in each other's company. He even worked on a flooded car design for the dolphins so that they could transport themselves between locations.
Yep.
NASA was funding, like he was a respected scientist. There's a bit of a spoiler that he isn't really anymore, but he was. He was a very well-respected.
Is it when he pitched the Dolphin car they thought he went too far?
No, not quite. This other person I'm going to introduce, between them is where it all started falling apart a little bit. A woman named Margaret Howe Lovett worked at a restaurant on the island, and soon she worked at the Dolphin lab, and eventually even moved in and lived there. She worked closely with a dolphin named Peter. Back to Schreiber. Howe Lovett decided to bunk up in one of the dolphin-friendly areas of the house, setting up a bed in the middle of a flooded room and surrounded it with shower curtains to maintain a bit of privacy and dryness. Her
Privacy from the dolphins.
Yeah, you know, when she wanted to sleep, she could have a sleep separate from the dolphins.
I don't know why, but your use of the word dryness, like, just really, like, it really out of all of this, that's what gave me the ick.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to talk about my expo, is that?
We don't have time because Matt gave us that list of 85 names that we won't be speaking about.
That was a bit I probably could have cut.
A list of everyone we'd rather hear about.
A list of actual scientists.
Yeah. Tell us more about Calvin Melvin.
Well, he was keeping his eye on this for a while. He was like, they got disappointed soon, and I don't go into it, but they were keeping tabs, and eventually they were like, this isn't really what we had in mind.
Oh, their group chat would have been going off.
Yeah.
Big time.
So Schreiber continues. Her job, this is Howe Lovett, her job was to teach Peter English, how to pronounce words correctly and let him know what they meant. The other scientists were like, we should try and figure out what their language is, but these guys were like, let's teach them English.
It'll make it easier for them in the Olympic Village.
Yeah. It's a universal language. And when they're on planes, it's the language of the sky.
So
they can be pilots.
Dolphin
Howe
pilot.
Lovett was in no way scientifically trained. Her last job was at a restaurant. But strangely, the only qualification they required of her before she got the job was that she had to read the book Planet of the Apes before starting. Despite Howe Lovett's lack of qualifications, Lily didn't involve himself at all with her lessons. In fact, he hardly spoke to her, as Schreiber explains. He only ever attempted to communicate with her about the job via telepathy from the floor above while floating in his isolation tank.
Matt, what am I
Quick
thinking?
memo.
What am I thinking?
Get this over with.
Yeah.
It works.
We're on the back end here, all right. Apparently Howe Lovett and Peter the Dolphin made some progress. There are tapes of their lessons. If you really squint your ears, you can hear him talking.
Let's all try it.
I can just make out something.
But unfortunately, don't worry, Kirsty, we're getting you a bit. But unfortunately, when the Dolphin hit puberty, he started getting distracted from his classes in a very visible way. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about dolphin boners. Every time it happened...
underage dolphin boners. Oh. Facts are facts, that's what you're talking about.
Now you've made this weird. I thought we were all about to have some fun, and now everyone's going to have that in the back of their mind.
Jess's mum, if you want to do a few
Do
blocks.
another lap. Do another lap.
Every time it happened, that Peter got a boner, she had to end the lesson and send him out to a different level where the girl dolphins were, so he could, they could all sort themselves out.
What do you mean?
The dolphins would get it on.
But did he end up leaving the lesson every 3 minutes for 16 hours until he passed
Until he passed out.
Kirsty, how do you not get this? Have you not read Planet of the Apes?
Damn it, it was all along. This took time, so they had to moving it to the other pool and stuff took ages. And the progress she was making with Peter was badly hampered because of this. But then Howe Lovett had a thought. Maybe she could turn this negative into a positive. and as she put it, strengthen the bond between dolphin and human. For science! And that's exactly what she did. For the listeners, Jess has left the stage. Jess, would you... sorry, I wouldn't do that to Jess. Kirsty, would you like to read out how she overcame the problem? This is in How Love Its Own Words. You don't have to. I'm happy to read it. But I think you could do it more justice.
I'll read it. It'll be better with a lisp.
So all the blue there, and then that's commentating.
All the blue, the two bottom bits.
All the blue from the top.
Oh, from the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what how she decided that maybe there was another way.
I found that taking his penis...
Can I just say before you go on, Jess's instincts are so good.
Even I know it's worse with me reading it out. Like, I just know that. I found that taking his penis in my hand and letting him jam himself against me, he would reach some sort of orgasm, mouth open, eyes closed, body shaking. Then his penis would relax and withdraw. Sorry. He would repeat this move 2 or 3 times and then his erection would stop and he seemed satisfied. It would just become part of what was going on. Stop making a big deal about it.
That's exactly the tone. What? It's for science.
Just like an itch. Just like an itch, okay? Oh, welcome back, Jess. You've come back at the wrong time. Like an itch. Just get rid of that scratch, Jess, and we would be done and move on. It wasn't sexual on my part. Oh, no. Okay, it wasn't sexual on my part. Sensuous, perhaps. It seemed to me that it made the bond closer. Not because of the sexual activity, you perverts, but because of the lack of having to keep breaking. This is about efficiency. And that's really all it was. I was there to get to know Peter. That was part of Peter. That was the last line. I didn't even make it up.
Kirsty, oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry for putting you through that.
It's so funny to me how if it's sexual, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But if it's sensual, that's way
science.
worse. These people were like, get out of here.
Is it safe for me to be back, or should I go?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I just quietly say, this is the nicest theatre we've ever performed in.
And the biggest Australian crowd we've ever had.
That was something.
So pretty crook stuff. She was fully unaware. She was caught by surprise when papers were published and they were openly mocked by the scientific community. She's like, what? It wasn't sexual.
Yeah, it was. We just didn't want to have breaks all the time. Come on.
According to Errod and Kelly, for all that's interesting, by 1966, John Lilly was he'd moved on. He was more enthralled with mind-altering powers of LSD than he was with his dolphins. Lilly was introduced to the drug, and you would never believe who introduced it to him, at a Hollywood party by the wife of the producer of the movie Flipper. Lily's friend Rick O'Barry said, I saw John go from a scientist with a white coat to a full-blown hippie. Riley writes, for the actor Jeff Bridges, who's also a friend of Lilly, he was introduced by his father Lloyd, and he said that John Lilly was above all an explorer of the brain and the mind. And all those drugs that expand our consciousness. There weren't too many people with his expertise and his scientific background doing that kind of work. Yeah, I reckon that's fair to say, Jeff. I reckon that is fair to say.
What a niche.
Kelly continues, Lilly belonged to an exclusive group of scientists licensed by the government to research the effects of LSD, and he dosed both himself and the dolphins with it. Lilly's looseness with the animal's safety and, well, everything else he's done ended up with the lab's funding drying out. Sorry to use that word again, Kirsty.
It's just dry with you, Matt.
This, actually, I forgot how it ends quite grim.
It ends grim.
Yeah.
That was entirely within your control as you wrote it.
Well, and even now.
Yeah. That's true too, yeah.
But this is why, so this morning I messaged Jess and said, I think mine's a better middle than ending report. Because we'll come like this, and then Jess will bring us home.
A lot of pressure, Jess.
So Lily ended up taking Peter to a small lab in Miami, and it was really grim circumstances, little sunlight, all that sort of stuff. And then a few weeks later, Hal Lovett received a phone call. Apparently Peter couldn't handle the separation, as Hal Lovett recounted. John, Lily, called me himself to tell me Peter had committed suicide.
What the? I just heard Jesus from backstage.
I'm so glad you heard that! I was like, wow!
Like, actually, Jesus.
Someone said Jesus behind the curtain.
What's he doing there?
I heard Jesus.
I think we've finally brought around the second coming. He's like, my children have lost their way.
Like this story is affecting people behind the curtain as well.
Yeah.
So of this idea of dolphin suicide, Rick O'Barry says dolphins are not automatic air breathers like we are. Every breath is a conscious effort. So if life becomes too unbearable, the dolphins just take a breath and they sink to the bottom. That's what Peter did. But Hal Lovett didn't find it that sad writing.
Sorry about this.
Writing that she was ultimately relieved that Peter the dolphin didn't need to endure life at the confined Miami lab, saying he wasn't going to be unhappy, he was just gone, and that was okay.
It's beautiful. That Willie finally free.
Matt, I just want to say that was a great joke, and I think that would be a great out, unless... that would be a great out, but I wanted to finish with a happy note. As for Hal Lovett, the one who jerked off the dolphin Peter, she ended up draining the dolphin lab, so it wasn't a lab anymore, and she ended up having a family there, a human family, marrying a human man, and having 3 daughters, all of which human. It did come up in the news this week that Google has trained a new AI model to decode dolphin chatter, and the company's new model called Dolphin Gemma will be made open source this winter, or American summer. And apparently, they're working hard, and they reckon they're making... So in the end, it sounds like the whole talking to dolphins thing is back in fashion, and Google's on it, and it might be happening soon. We might be able to have a chat to dolphins and ask, did Peter... Was that okay? I think they'll say no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
eek.
Was that your happy ending?
Yeah.
Like that, was that?
Yeah.
You thought that was better than Free Willy. That was very good.
Yeah, the dolphin uprising is coming, and you're like, that's a nice note to finish on.
I thought, No, look, I have some regrets there.
Can I just say, Kirsty, before you go, you were doing a show at the Comedy Festival this year. What was your show called?
I'm so glad you've asked this. So my show is called Everything I Need to Say About Sea Creatures. And in the first 10 minutes of the show, not in this detail, but I do address the horniness of dolphins. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And?
No one loves that. They're all traumatised. They're like, we wish you wouldn't cover that, Kirsty. Not in this detail. Like,
So-
mine's a lot. Woo.
Kirsty,
It's funny.
Mine's fun, horny
Yeah.
dolphins. Not
Kirsty,
grim.
if I can, the background is that I once, we did a festival in Thailand, and it was for the Dum Dum Club. I'm like, their audience will want something to fuck. So I told the story of this guy getting fucked to death by a horse. And it turned, the crowd was like, oh, that's joke. And then I'm like, but some of them really liked it. So I did another story at a live show about a woman getting fucked to death by a dog. And it turned out that people did not like that at all. So I thought, you know what? The people liked a bit of the horse stuff, but they didn't like the death. They didn't want it to be man's best friend. So I thought, let's go wetter. Let's get rid of the human dying. But now I think all death will have to be erased from the next one. I'm learning as I go. I'm like AI.
We're tweaking as we go.
I'm learning the wrong lessons, I think, but I'm learning lessons.
Yeah. Matt Stewart, everybody.
A beautiful work in progress.
Beautiful.
And our amazing guests, Kirsty, Webeck and Suren, Jayemanne.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Maybe you should take the middle seat.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought that would go down better, to be honest. I reckon I had him in the first half.
Somebody just said, how?
I thought you were with me for a while, right? What about first timer? Is this the kind of thing? Oh, he's giving me the AOK or like secret racist sign, so... There's a bit of a gap between which one you're going for. Oh, and he's saying bit of column A, bit of column B. So,
Hey, we've got 10 minutes and I didn't edit my report, so...
Okay.
When you think of hot, you might think about the tragic time you ate too much wasabi. Or about getting into your car on a summer day when it feels more like stepping into a sauna. But heat can work in your favor. Like during Verizon Red Hot Deal Days. Get hundreds of hot deals on all your favorites, like iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, Apple Watch Series 10, and iPad. On any plan. Only until May 28th for new and existing customers. Offer available on My Plan. Only at Verizon.
Hi guys, it's Hannah from Giggly Squad. With summer around the corner, I wanted to tell you guys how I'm staying comfy and stylish. Lululemon is my secret weapon. There are plenty of copycats out there, but nothing compares to the Lululemon fabrics and fit. I've literally had my pair of Lululemon leggings since college. And I'm out of college. I know I don't look it, but I am. The quality is next level. I especially love the Lululemon Align collection. It's made with this weightless, buttery soft Nulu fabric that feels like next to nothing. It's so soft. Whether you're in Align pants, shorts, a bra, tank, skirt, a dress, you get non-stop flexibility in every direction so you can stretch the summer limits. Align even wicks sweat. And as a sweaty girl, I love this. You know it's going to be my best friend when I play tennis this summer. Shop the Align collection online at lululemon.com or your nearest Lululemon store.
My God, I have to apologise once again. I misjudged. I thought that was. I thought that was okay. I was genuinely shocked that got some of those responses, but looking back, of course, it was pantomime. They were playing a role.
Exactly.
I don't think they were actually gasping for real.
No, definitely not.
It is great, though, to be doing part 3, possibly part 4 if you include the James Joyce sex letters, and you're still surprised.
I don't know. I find those episodes fun to do where it is feeling like the audience is a bit like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I think everyone's having fun.
And something I think people are going to start to realise is I'm a safe pair of hands,
Safe pair of Mr. Hands.
Yeah, if you want to jam yourself against them. Okay. That was full-on wording that Kirsty read out.
Yeah, that she demanded to read out.
Yeah.
You didn't hand her an iPad and force her to do it.
She played it. Yeah, no, she was playing it up a bit.
She was a really good sport. Suren and Kirsty are obviously both so funny.
But it's so funny as well because Kirsty's show this year was really about sea creatures and she knew a lot of that already. So, you could see how good of an actor with all those, the faux shocked behaviour. Yeah. It wasn't until after she's like, I knew all that. I knew all of that.
Yeah, I'd interviewed those people.
I didn't even need to read it.
Yeah.
I could have done that from...
straight off the top of my dome.
Yeah, freestyler.
And her tour continues. She's doing that show all around Australia. She's just come back from New Zealand, which is very, very cool. She's heading to Brunswick Heads, Sydney, that one sold out, Wollongong, Newcastle, Geelong, and Hobart, Launceston, Adelaide.
Cute.
Yeah, so you're in any of those places, you're in definitely safe set of hands as a stand-up.
Yeah.
Kirsty is the best.
But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, if you're still listening now, I reckon you probably did, unless you've just skipped ahead. But we're going to do...
And you're thinking, what did he talk about?
What is going on? Well, go back and listen. Don't be shy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that group of scientists that got together. It was like amazing in the different areas how influential they all were. But anyhow, it's time to look forward, not back. And thank some of our great supporters. If you want to be one of these supporters, you can sign up at patreon.com/dogoonpod. And there's a bunch of different levels. You get bonus episodes. You got access to the Facebook group, which is everyone's favorite and safe and beautiful corner of the internet. And you get to vote for topics, all sorts of stuff. You get early access to tickets, discounts, all sorts of stuff. But the first thing that we talk about in this section of the show is the Fact Quote or Question section. If you sign up on the Sydney Scheinberg level or above, you get to be involved in this. And this section actually has a jingle, goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
I always want to get involved in the harmony, and you two always...
I thought you were doing a dolphin sound.
It's our thing. Just let us have our thing. Dave and I have so little in common, and we enjoy so little of each other's company. Let us have one thing.
I think I can do a dolphin even worse than I can do a Trump.
Yeah, that is horrific.
Which is that? Trump?
No, Jess, I'm sorry. You can have that.
No, it's fine. I don't want it anymore.
All right. So tomorrow you'll let me do it with you?
Yep.
Oh. And you'll...
No, you can just do it. I'll just leave.
I'm sorry.
You can just do it.
No, I don't want
It's so important for you to do it with Dave. You do it with Dave.
No, I want to do it with all three of us.
No, I don't want to. Sorry, I forgot the vibe is like celebratory 500 episodes and stuff.
No, I mean, you're celebrating your vibe by reenacting how you always are.
Yeah.
It's nice for you to do it honestly for once.
Exactly.
So... The fact quote or question section, people get to give us a fact quote or question or a brag or a suggestion or really whatever they like. And I don't read them out till I read them out. They also get to give themselves a title. This episode's one comes from Paul Meller, a.k.a. man of his word with caveats.
Okay.
I like it.
And he's got a promise writing.
I'm gonna trust this now.
Well, I'm sure if there are caveats, he's got to write them in, surely. Yeah.
Okay.
He's not whispering quietly.
By the way, I'm lying about all of this.
Yeah.
I hereby promise that should I win the Euro Millions jackpot of £93 million at the time of writing, then I will take myself, my family, and a bunch of UK patrons to the next Do Go On live show in Melbourne. I really think if you believe it can happen, it will. However, I have yet to be proved correct, as I think the most I have won in the draw is £3.50.
And is that enough?
I can't remember the current conversion, but it might
be enough for him.
Yeah.
But I think he's holding out for the big.
He also only flies business class.
Sure, of course.
So that would be enough just for him.
Yeah.
He also said, by the time this is read out, we will definitely have won, and I'll have already quit my job. See you at the show, hopefully. Cheers, Paul.
Huge. Congratulations, Paul.
Well done, Paul. I hope you've listened to previous episodes about lottery winners who maybe zig when they should have zagged, and things all come crumbling down. I'm sure that won't happen to you, Paul.
Never.
If you're doing wise things like bringing a whole plane full of people to see a podcast on the other side of the world.
That is awesome.
So good. Appreciate that very much, Paul. Happy 500 to you as well. Paul's obviously featured on the Saints episode with a walk through the park.
Beautiful
Remember
walks.
that bit?
Yeah,
Beautiful
absolutely.
walk. I could listen to hours of that.
You can also look at dozens of photos of him walking.
Oh, his walking photos are fantastic.
The nature. It looks very nice over there.
Follow him on Instagram. Can't remember his handle, but
just find it.
Find it. Paul Meller.
Paul Meller walks.
Paul Meller walks. That's what it should be. The next thing we do is shout out to a few of our other great supporters. Just the three this week. We're splitting it up over the 3 episodes. Jess normally comes up with a game based on the topic. Should we pick an animal to jerk off?
If you had to pick one, I know what I'm picking. Tapir.
Oh,
my God.
Because they're the ones with the huge.
Yeah, remember Jess couldn't even stand near it because it was so confronting.
It was the day that we did the bonus episode about James Joyce letters.
That's right, in Birmingham that night.
Wow, same day.
Same day.
What a day we had.
What a day. And also, I really thought Dave was going to say ducks. But that's
my friend.
I do confuse you with your friend whose name
Gary
is
Chalk.
Gary Chalk.
Dr. Gary Chalk. Well, previously known as Doctor.
How about an animal to study? And what they choose to study about that animal is up to these individuals, but we are not saying that these people are jerking these animals off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe they're going to...
Heavily implied.
They're going to try and teach them how to talk, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. If you know what I mean. Yep.
You know, hey, science, it's not an exact science, if you know what I mean. All right. So, Dave, do you want to do name or place?
I'll do name this week.
All right.
Or this day.
First up, I'd love to thank from Highworth in Queensland, Australia.
Hello, and thank you, Zane Javanig.
Oh, shit, I'm doing the animals.
That is a great
I haven't got an animal name generator up.
Oh, why don't we do it around the circle?
I can think of three animals.
All right, and Zane Javanig is studying...
Blank your mind.
Giraffes.
Oh,
that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Zebra, thank God. Because for a second I was like, have I actually... Because I did try to blank my mind and I was like, have I actually just looked around the room? But there's a zebra behind me, so that's different.
So your cars associate it.
And Zane is able to do like whatever the study they want it to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be weird.
Doesn't have to...
Yeah.
But
no.
it could be.
It could be if Zane wants it to be, but it can also just be a really nice, normal, above-board study.
Yeah, but Zane... Let us know if they're in proportion. Next up, Dave, who we got? Oh, from Kurralta Park in South Australia.
Think you to Jayemanne.
Studying tigers.
Oh, Jayemanne Aladdin.
Aladdin, yep.
What's the tiger's name? I think it's...
I think that's it.
Yeah. I think it's like...
Oh, it is starting with an R.
Raja.
I had to look it up.
Beautiful name.
But it does ring a bell now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jayemanne. Hey.
Man, the biggest cats. What a fantastic thing.
Number 3 will be really good. Here we go.
I mean, they've both been fantastic. Two of the big.
Number 3 is going to be really good.
Are you going to jump around to another continent again?
I'm going to blank my mind. I'm going to blank my mind.
All right, and finally from Newtown in Victoria, Australia.
You, Matt Jennings.
Rainbow lorikeets.
Oh, yes. I freaking love those birds.
There's so much sass when they travel in a pack and they're like, we're coming through here. We're gonna pull these seeds off this thing.
If I looked like them, I would not give a shit about it. I'd be like, yeah, what are you going to do? Look at me.
I'd love to be a cockatoo. You know, big fucking feet. And they sit there. Oh, man, they're the best.
Yeah.
Great hair.
And that matters to me.
Yes.
Yep. We're lucky that Ostentatious isn't in. He would have absolutely torn you apart there. Cockatoo. Left yourself wide open. But luckily Dave and I, gentlemen.
Well, see, and Ostentatious, the biggest name of comedy for 4 decades. That's what his poster says.
Yeah, right.
That's so good. Who? Love it.
All right. And then the last thing we do is welcome someone into the Triptych Club. I believe we have 2 inductees.
2?
Today on part 2 of our 500th spectacular.
Whoa.
Great work.
Now, the way this works is it's a bit of theatre of the mind, but these people have been signed up on the shout-out level or above for 3 straight years. And once they're in this club, it's basically the Hall of Fame of Do Go On. They can't leave, but why would you want to? It's got everything you need, including Jess behind the bar, who comes up with a great drink each week.
Yeah, we're having Dolphin.
Dolphin top cocktails?
Yeah.
No.
Suck out the blowhole sort of thing?
Yep.
That's sick. So good. But it's not, you're talking about, it's a concoction you call Dolphin?
Oh, the cocktails, yeah, it's just called Dolphin.
Yeah, it's not, we're not drinking like blended Dolphin. No.
That's the meal we also have.
And Dave, you normally book a band for the after party.
Yeah, oh my goodness. It's been hard this week. I've had to book 3 in 1 week. So I had to take whatever I could get.
Well, it's basically a mini festival, isn't it?
That's right. But then when they replied and said, oh, yeah, we can do Thursday this week, I went, you're kidding. You'll never believe who I've got. We've got the Japanese ambient and acid trance musician known as Dream Dolphin.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe it? Performing hits from all their albums, including their debut album, Love Eating Alien, from 1996.
Yeah, right.
Is it an alien that's eating love? You know what I mean? Like
love
or
eating
is it I love eating alien?
Yeah, and is it like as a food or sexually or you know what?
Or I love eating, alien.
Yeah. Oh, so many options.
I know. I wonder. So many questions.
Well, that's the kind of outfit they are.
Yeah.
They pose questions. They're not here to answer.
No.
That's right.
They're putting it out there and leaving it up to interpretation.
I do wish they'd answer, though.
Yeah.
Please answer my
I
calls.
keep yelling. I keep yelling at my phone. Dream Dolphin!
Answer me!
Answer me! I think I'm getting closer.
Yeah. It feels right.
That dolphin is not well.
No. Could you just know that it's not worth trying because you couldn't do it, or could you do it?
I could not do it.
Jess could, I reckon.
Yeah, I could. And yet, we must move on.
So, two names.
Colder. So, first, I'm on the door. I've got the clipboard. I'm going to read out the name. Dave does a bit of weak wordplay to really welcome him in, get the vibe going, and it's really the only skill he has, and he's not very good at it. And
fucking believable.
Jess then hypes up Dave. All right, here we go. Two names today, Dave. You ready?
Yes, I am.
From Derby in Great Britain, please welcome into the club, Sophie.
Hey, Sophie, have a trophy.
Woo! Best Sophie.
That was actually really good. And
I
from
appreciate the actually.
Utrecht in the Netherlands, I reckon, NL, it's Ramona Harrison. I love the name Ramona.
Everybody loves Ramona. Written down, it looks a bit like Raymond. Is that what I'm going for there? But when Matt said, I love the name Ramona, it really ruined it.
Yeah, Matt ruins everything.
Everybody loves Ramona. Good on you.
Good on you, Ramona. Everybody loves you.
Ramona, I'm sure you're a homeowner.
Jude Pearl has a song called Nobody Loves You When You Love Everybody. Loves Raymond. And it's like a song in defense of Everybody Loves Raymond.
That's funny.
It's real good.
That's good.
And so catchy. It's been stuck in my head.
I didn't know where that was going.
Jude Pearl, very, very talented.
That's really good.
What a voice. Well, that brings us into the episode. Am I right?
Yep.
Ramona and Sophie are in the club and, make yourselves at home. Eat some dolphin, drink some dolphin. And
we don't have ethics here.
No.
So it's fine.
Well, you don't need them in this is sort of like a place where nothing is anything and everything is nothing.
It's purgatory. You're dead.
Yeah. So
you can't sin if you're already dead.
Yeah.
So eat up.
Yeah. Dave, do you want to boot this baby home?
Hey, we'll be back tomorrow with the final part of our 500th episode extravaganza. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening. And until then, we will say goodbye.
Later.
I'm so sorry.
I think I got it.
I'm so sorry.
Do you reckon I got that?
No.
Oh.
You were made for going the extra mile for your pet, and Farah Pets was made to do the same. Farah Pets supplements are vet-created with innovative ingredients that combine Eastern and Western therapies so your pet can thrive. After all, you would do anything to help your pet feel their best, and so would we. Visit farahpets.com/pod to get 20% off today. That's FERA pets.com/POD. Farah Pets. We were made for this.
Hi guys, it's Hannah from Giggly Squad. With summer around the corner, I wanted to tell you guys how I'm staying comfy and stylish. Lululemon is my secret weapon. There are plenty of copycats out there, but nothing compares to the Lululemon fabrics and fit. I've literally had my pair of Lululemon leggings since college. And I'm out of college. I know I don't look it, but I am. The quality is next level. I especially love the Lululemon Align collection. It's made with this weightless, buttery soft Nulu fabric that feels like next to nothing. It's so soft. Whether you're in Align pants, shorts, a bra, tank, skirt, a dress, you get nonstop flexibility in every direction so you can stretch the summer limits. Align even wicks sweat. And as a sweaty girl, I love this. You know it's going to be my best friend when I play tennis this summer. Shop the Align collection online at lululemon.com or your nearest Lululemon store.
Don't forget to sign up to our tour mailing list so we know where in the world you are and we can come and tell you when we're coming there.
Wherever we go, we always hear 6 months later, oh, you should come to Manchester. We were just in Manchester. We were just there,
but this way you'll never miss out. And don't forget to sign up, go to our Instagram, click our link tree. Very, very easy.
It means we know to come to you, and you'll also know that we're coming to you.
Yeah, we'll come to you, you come to us. Very good.
And we give you a spam-free guarantee.